Hello, happy day. So today we're going into shoulder modification variations for salutations. Oh boy, shoulders, we could go deep on them. So I made a conscious choice. I don't want to get too much into the anatomy. It's a whole other course. It's really about figuring out how to move our body safely so that we can really develop the sacred in the movement. But awareness to our own anatomy, our own limitations is very important. So these little videos are more of a play workshopy time for you to kind of explore specific joints like the wrist and the hands, and we'll get to the hips and all that kind of stuff. But the shoulders, you think about it, carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. We do tons of movement all day long, lots of opportunity for repetitive stress injury. So we really don't want our yoga practice to add to that. We want our yoga practice to empower ourselves, really about preservation of the physical body, not annihilation, right? So if you are doing this yoga practice and just feeling beat all the time, nursing an injury and stuff, you need to step back and look at the physical practice. This is supposed to, challenge you, strengthen you, but at the main time, like these salutations are sacred. How is it affecting the energy of your body? And if you're constantly feeling deplete because you are doing this physical practice, is that really the means to the end that you want? We want to feel challenged, maybe sometimes a little worked, a little sore, but we want to be able to walk through our day building the energy. And each one of these salutations cultivates a different energy. So I could blab all day for this, but let's get into the shoulders. Mainly, we got this humerus bone, without getting too deep into the anatomy, sits in a shoulder socket, your shoulder girdle connected by lots of ligaments and tendons. The commonest one we hear is like rotator cuff injury. But the depth of our bowl is different for everyone. I have broader shoulders, so they're definitely stronger, much tighter in one way than the other. And you may notice that extension versus flexion. So understanding just those simple things in your body, and you don't have to know the biomechanics of it. You're just being like, much easier for me to take my arm that way than that way. Do you feel it? Maybe you're really open this way. That is not my thing. So we're going to start, I'm going to just stay on my knees because this is the most common movement for the shoulder in salutation, done in almost every one. Arms go up overhead. Nice and simple, right? Not if you have frozen shoulder or a rotator cuff injury. That is miserable. So I definitely tell you I had tight shoulders. This movement, which is the classic vinyasa movement, I never really loved it. I do it, doesn't hurt me, but I always feel like I'm locked up here. And there is certain degrees where all of a sudden it is not the shoulder lifting, the scapula gets involved, all of these other joints get involved. But it's just feel it. Do you love this? I know lots of people that do. Just this is part of the salutation, just kind of bringing up the energy. Now, what do you do if you don't like that? This is my go-to. I like lifting from the sides. If you've ever been in my classes or done work with me before, you might notice I do this quite a lot. I feel like there's a stopping point and my bone gets into my clavicle. Whereas here, I can keep my shoulders down and I'm lifting from the side waist. It gives me more of this length from the torso. And it's just, I don't go into this kind of hunched back, no neck kind of location. I can control it. Low belly draws in. So those are places to play. And the best way to do this practice is really from experience. I could sit here and tell you this is the right way, this is the wrong way, but I don't live in your body. I don't go through what your body goes through on a daily basis. So emotionally and physically affect how we move. And to really empower yourself to take ownership of that, that is just a gift of life. Now, what happens if just going over the shoulder or over the head doesn't feel good? We've got to open it up. My husband's got deltoid issues or this attachment here. And he plays and practice with me. He just plays like this. Now he is engaged, and the idea is we're starting to use more of the muscles than just at the joint, right? We want to bring that muscular work in. Very popular in classes is the cactus arm, opening up, goalposts. So even when you're coming up, you can even play just in the biceps. Right? Find your sacred movement. Doesn't have to look like something that's from 1,000 years ago. It can really come from your heart. Taking just a moment to explore, play with the rotation of the shoulder. And I'm doing this on the shins, but when we get into our full little practices, we will explore all the different movements. And this also is playing with your energy, right? Our breath, our prana moves in different ways. And we'll go a little bit over that, the energy that moves around, the energy that pushes out, that pulls in. So it's a beautiful remedy for when we think about anything, any standing pose where the hand goes over the head. All right. Down dog. Beautiful. But it takes a lot of shoulders. We do it all the time. Do you have to do down dog in a sun salutation? Absolutely not. I'm going to show you one of my favorite alternatives to down dog. Now, it starts on your forearms. And a lot of this stuff you've probably played with before. The idea is you're just kind of playing with it a little more in your own realm. So the hands interlace, take a little pressure off the shoulders, starts to integrate into the tricep, bicep area, and up into the scapula. Cat cows here are beautiful. If you want to really work a little more of the forearm work, which is nice, you take your forearms parallel to one another. Suka, you're making it hard to see if they want to see. Come over here. There you go. All right, we're going to go over there. And you breathe. Now you can stay here anytime, or, yep, bring in the core work and you'll come into dolphin. Now I will tell you, this pose was my nemesis for a long time. I think I mentioned in the wrist video, I sprained or fractured my wrist, so I couldn't put any weight on it. So in order for me to stay in practice, dolphin became my friend. At that point, I just didn't have the stamina to hold it at all, and everything would shake in my upper body. But with perseverance and really breathing through the practice, it strengthened my pectoral muscles, my trapezius muscles, and my arms. And the amount of grounding I felt in that practice was really special. I'm gonna go boop. So the transition's one of my favorites. Nice deep inhale. Come to forearm plank. Drop the hips. You're in Sphinx. Slide the hands back. And you get to be in Cobra with everybody else. And if you notice, my shoulders kind of stayed in plugged in spots the whole time. There's no overextension or rotation forward. It was much easier for me to keep them plugged in and steady. So once again, all right, you step back, you just bring your elbows down instead of down dog. Shift forward. You can even bring your knees down. You get your core work, drop your hips. You're in Sphinx. You can stay here. really working the shoulder strength if there's any issues. If the shoulders are good, pull the elbows back. They're plugged in. You find the back extension. Yay! Lots of places to play. And then the last one we're going to conquer is chaturanga. Now, I've had workshops that I've done that was all chaturanga. We're going to keep it pretty simple here. Do you have to do chaturanga? No. Are there lots of other ways to get core work? Yes. And we're going to see them and throughout all the sequences. But where is your right chaturanga? Only you know. I will tell you, the lower you go, the more you have to work to come up. And a lot of that load goes into the shoulder. In the classic Surya Namaskars, you might have seen the Ankara Asana, the knees, chest, chin. It is an internal rotation of the shoulder with then an external rotation. So over time, if you're not using other muscles like your upper arm or your back muscles, that'll go on to those little ligaments and you'll start to feel the wear and tear. Don't want that. So I used to do this. I still do it in all my trainings. The good way to kind of build strength in your chaturanga, you'd need 2 blocks on high. Your hands come right in front, middle finger right to the middle of the block. You can do this with the knees down because it is a lot of work. Connect to your breath. You'll shift forward, drop your shoulders onto the blocks. Don't drop the block. Sometimes these little cork ones aren't so stable. So you get the bigger foam ones, they'll work better. And then the shoulders come onto the blocks and you breathe. From here, you can work the tailbone back, heart forward, chin slightly forward, elbows in. So you're starting to really feel the fingertips root. And breathe. Slide the leg back and you can come on up to a cobra. That's just one way to kind of feel how low you should go. Another option is if you're gaining strength, just bend your elbows an inch. Push back up. Elbows hug in. And that's the hardest part. A lot of us, they want to pop the elbows out. It's not like a regular push-up. The elbows wrapping in is going to get you more engaged to more muscles that are going to support the weight bearing. Chest forward, lower. Good. Inhale up. Is it wrong if you go all the way down? Exhale, lower. Just know you got to go up, pull the shoulders back. There's just a lot more work to it. What are you trying to get out of these shapes? You don't need to know, but if you want more extension in the spine, maybe going lower, your shoulders feel happy and healthy, and you're trying to get more strength and mobility. Yeah, if you're just trying to create stable, clear, connected movement so you can drop into the sacred, and keep it simple. Yeah, beautiful little kiss. Keep it simple, sweetheart. Shift forward, down, open. Exhale, back. Yeah. So I'm going to share one last one with you because we are going to do it in one of our sequences. I call it the lean back. Right? You're going to just come up on your shins. And this is if wrists and shoulders don't want any weight bearing. You're going to press the tops of the feet down. Pubic bone lifts, heart open. Hands come in front. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, lean back. Pull it forward. Now this gets so good into the quadriceps. Lean back. The trick is to lean back from the knees, not the back. So I'm not bending. I'm really working the thighs. The shins are the thighs. The shins are pressing down. And oh boy, after a few of these, you're like, woo, right? That is getting into the core and the psoas, low belly. And play. So we're going to leave it there today. You can play with those little movements with the arms How do you do your chaturanga? Right? Where is the weight? Do you feel it in what part of the body as you lower? Do your elbows like to go out? Do they come in? So this is just kind of like this research area. You're just observing. There's no right and wrong. You're observing your tendencies, and then you can either build on them or start to shift them to support you later on in the practice. And that's when we get the glory of when we're not thinking so much and anatomically of how we're moving our body. We start to really tap into the breath. And every movement has this beautiful, sacred energy. So enjoy, give yourself a hug, love the shoulders. Take your time, explore, play. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you next time.